Does It Matter now? Hebe Chen from IG joining me, and let's start with Nvidia there, Hebe, and what you're seeing with the technicals, because analysts are saying if it misses here, it could be a big slump down in Nvidia shares.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for having me today. Well, as you mentioned, I think the Nvidia's earning is the big highlight for this week. And based on our quiet memory for the Nvidia's past earnings, the share prices already has demonstrated quite wild volatilities, which we're putting up here for the past two earnings. For the first earnings, we're seeing the share price jumping on 9%, and also starting at 46% up in the following months. And for the second earnings, we're seeing the share price dropping about 20% about 2 weeks after the earnings report. So I think this week was definitely a critical point to checking the Nvidia share prices for any trading opportunities. You're talking about earnings. I'll just briefly just summarize what we're expecting. So we're actually expecting a quite high, good numbers from Nvidia. We're expecting the earning per share will be 74 cents, about 200% improvement over year. And the revenues also expecting like 200%, more than 200% improvement from last year. So I think it's for Nvidia's, most of the time it's not about how good the number is whether or not they could deliver a better outlook for the Nvidia's traders. So in terms of the technical wise, I think let's look at the one of the critical indicators. I noticed from the past couple of days that we're seeing the share prices now has dropping below this red trend line starting from September, which could potentially taking as a sign that they has sort of a cooling down for the midterm momentum, which is surrounding the US election, surrounding the Trump trading. So I think that was coming to quite a cooling stage, and now we're looking at whether or not the earnings could reignite this passion about the Nvidia. A couple of the key price levels I'm looking at. So given that it has dropping below this red line, I think that this red upsending trend lines, I think that our next levels are looking back into the peak levels or back into the July, and that's 136.78 cents. That will be the next crucial support level for the Nvidia share price if that keep pulling back after the earnings. And if it continue to dropping that, I think that we'll have to turn our eyes into 50 days moving average, and that will be sitting below the 120, roughly about 112. And I think that's the case is if the traders are not happy with the earnings, have a big concern about its outlook. But on the other hand, if they could deliver a better result plus a better guidance for the next quarter and the years after, I think that the Nvidia's share prices do have potential to jumping back above this ascending trend lines and potentially challenge back into the challenge to 150 price level. And that's a level that we're seeing there quite a lot of buyers pull back in the past couple of weeks.
All right, let's move on to gold, because of course there's a lot of uncertainty over what's happening in Russia, Ukraine. You did see quite a pullback in gold last week, the largest of the year, but now there has been a little bit of a flight to safe haven. What are the technicals showing you?
Yes, indeed. The gold prices have pulled back quite significantly for the past 2 weeks. I mark up here about 8%, and that's the biggest pullback since 2023. The major reason for that is the stronger dollars, and also we're seeing a bit of the pullback because the prices recently has fresh quite a couple of the all-time highs, a bit of the scale of the hate at this level. But given the elevated geopolitical tension, the price is now coming back today. And the critical level I'm looking at is roughly about 2,600 level. I will wait for the confirmation from this level, because if that price could pass 2,600 for the next couple of days, that will confirm that the past 2 weeks pullback has really coming to an end, and that will potentially welcoming the second round or the next new round of the rally from gold prices, and that will potentially seeing the prices even pushing up to about 2657. This is the purple line here and showing the 50 days moving average. But on the other hand, if this the geopolitical tension supported rebounds cannot be sustainable, that the prices will still stay in this descending tunnel here, or potentially looking down into the level which is now 100 days moving average, about 2,500 levels sitting in. But I think that if based on that, we have seen quite a strong rally yesterday, is showing that quite a lot of buyers are waiting for this buying the dip opportunities, and potentially we're seeing another new phase for the gold prices. I'm still quite positive and optimistic about the long term for the gold prices.
What about the yen getting close to sort of some intervention level here too, particularly as we're watching to see what the BOJ's next move is going to be?
Yes, the yen, the USD versus JPY is now back into the level, pretty close to the level back into April and May. And that's the level that always sort of flashed the red flag for the warning for the potentially intervention by the Bank of Japan or the Japanese government. And based on the putting up a chart, the tunnel here, so since from the end of September, now the Japanese yen has been weakening or depreciating about 11%. And during this journey, there's a couple of things happening, the Bank of Japan's meeting, the US election and Japan election. So I think one of the takeaway I got from there, I feel that the Japanese yen is getting much less resilience. Quite a lot of the uncertainties is weighed on the strength and weight on the confidence for the Japanese yen. Plus, we do have quite of the uncertainty about whether or not the Bank of Japan will keep hiking the rates, and the economy seems doesn't look as strong as what we expected. So based on the technical wise, you're seeing that for the midterm to the longer term wise, this ascending tunnel still seems pretty valid that we're potentially seeing the prices keep pushing up to this 157 to 158 levels, and that will be quite a likely region that will start the new discussion about interventions. But one of the possibilities we're seeing, we probably will see the overturn of the momentum is that I will see the exchange rate dropping below the 153, and that will potentially seeing an overturn and coming back of the Japanese yen. But if that's not happening, I think that overturn the midterm wise for me that the weakness of the Japanese yen will continue.